everyone, welcome back to another video. So I'm doing a really quick update for my writing because basically I failed everything this week. So I will talk about that, and then I wanted to do a little bit of a discussion with this writing update just because there's not much for me to talk about in this update because I failed, like I said. But yeah, I wanted to include kind of a short discussion in this as well. So first off, as far as my writing goes, I did not write 4 days a week. I did not even write one day this week, and I will get into that in a minute. So I didn't do that. I didn't obviously write the 2055 words this week, and I didn't edit the 2 chapters like I wanted to. Beginning of this week, I did have a lot kind of going on in the beginning that I was trying to do, and so I didn't get around to writing the first 2 days. But then I kept telling myself after, I was like, okay, tomorrow I'm definitely gonna write. I'm going to write all day. I'm just gonna focus on the writing, and I'm gonna edit the chapters. Wednesday, had a doctor appointment, was going to write after, but didn't end up doing that. Thursday, I said I was gonna write all day, edit those chapters, didn't do that. Friday, said the same thing, didn't do it either. So, I don't know, this week is kind of weird. I've just been, I don't want to say stuck, but also kind of stuck. Where it's like, I'm not stuck on anything with the story or with the writing or editing. I know where to go, I know what I'm going to write, but getting myself to actually sit down and write this week, I have no idea what happened, but I just couldn't bring myself to do it. Which brings me to kind of the discussion part of the video that I want to talk about, is that while I was procrastinating this week, there's really no better word for it because that's pretty much what I did. I procrastinated all week, and so while I was procrastinating, I did end up watching some YouTube videos, and one video that I watched was an AuthorTube collaboration, and I think this collaboration was done a couple years ago. It looked like an older video, but it was a collaboration with several girls in the AuthorTube community, and it was about, I can't remember the title of the video right now, but it was something like truths about writing, something like that. I will leave a link to that video down in the description below. But, no, not truths. The other video I watched was truths about writing. But this collaboration was advice. Advice to writers. So, yeah, like I said, I'll leave a link to the video down below. So it was these different author-tubers that were giving advice to writers about writing, of course. And one advice one person gave that I thought was really interesting, and I don't remember who said this, but she said the one advice she would give is to not force yourself to write. Because when you force yourself to write, it shows in your writing. It shows that, you're not really excited about the story, or you're just trying to get it done, and that comes across in your writing. So don't force yourself. if you don't feel like writing, just don't write for the moment being. And so I thought that was interesting, because a lot of times you get the exact opposite advice. Most advice that I hear writers get says something like, you have to make yourself write, right? Every day, just sit down, schedule time, sit down and write. You have to kind of make yourself write, because we're never going to feel inspired or motivated every single day. And so most of the time, you have to make yourself write. And so that's usually the advice that a lot of writers probably hear or get. And so I thought it was interesting that her advice was to not force yourself to write. And I kind of just want to talk about, like, what are some of your thoughts on that advice? Like, to write or not to write? That is the question. Do you agree with the not forcing yourself to write? Or would you say you need to make yourself write, whether you feel like it or want to or not? And here's the thing. I think her advice is a good one to an extent. Where if you really feel like you can't write, like you sat down at the computer, you've tried to write, and nothing comes out, or maybe one or two crappy sentences come out and that's it, maybe you do need to take a step back, take a break, and not force yourself to write. Because I have done that before. I have, I've said, okay, this is my writing time, this is my writing session, and I will sit down and try to write something, and I just get super stuck, and I don't know what it is, but I just can't bring myself to write anything. And so I will take a break and leave it alone for a while, and then come back later or another day, and the writing just flows much easier. It comes out much smoother. I don't know what it is about that. It's just sometimes you do need a break. Sometimes you do need to just not write. So I agree with that advice to an extent. Now, here's what I will say. I also agree with the other typical advice writers get, which is to make yourself write, whether you feel like it or not. Because here's the thing, most writers, myself included, definitely, if we do not make ourselves write, we will never write our book. Like, I will never write a book if I do not have something, like, really, and that's one of the reasons why I do these update videos, to help keep me accountable as well. Otherwise, I will never ever write anything. I mean, I may write once in a while, like if I'm feeling super inspired or motivated, but the amount of times that I felt inspired or motivated to write something is few and far between. So the inspiration and motivation comes more as I actually start to write. So yeah, the hardest part is just getting started, I think, at least for me. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I want to hear what your guys' thoughts are. I will say I'm sticking with the same goals this week, since I didn't meet any of them last week. Sticking with the same goals this week. Write 4 days. Try to write 2,055 words. of Project Rose and try to edit at least 2 chapters of my book. So yeah, I'm sticking to those same goals. Hopefully this week it'll actually happen. And that's it. Let me know in the comments below, what are your thoughts? Do you agree or disagree with those advice? And like I said, I'll leave a link to that video down below. You guys can check it out. And that's it. I will see you guys soon with another video. Bye.